I don't remember much from that night, just the important parts, or at least the parts I wish I didn't have to think about. I remember blood. I remember seeing the lifeless eyes of my parents as I came home from school. Something hadn't been quite right. The front door was unlocked. Two stiff bodies lay sprawled across the floor, drenched in pools of their own blood. I ran up to them, tears silently streaming from my face as I bent down to check their pulses. I knew it was hopeless the moment I laid eyes on them, but my mind, it could hardly process what I was seeing. I sat there, crouched on the floor. Anyone might have mistaken me for one of the dead. I was so still. I stood up quickly, taking in the signs of struggle as I rushed over to the purse I had thrown to the floor on my way inside. What I didn't notice was a tall figure creep out of the hall closet to sneak up behind me. Or well, I didn't notice until a glove hand clamped a funny-smelling cloth over my mouth and nose. I kicked at my attacker and tried to scream. Obviously, neither of these things works as I had a hand covering my mouth, a sleeping drug oozing into my respiratory system as I fought. And now I'm here, wherever that might be. Of course, I'm not exactly sure where I am to be exact, as a strip of cloth covers my eyes, and what feels like a zip tie keeps my wrist and ankles clamped to the chair I'm sitting in. A soft door creak and equally a soft footstep signal the entry of a person. I tense up as the footsteps travel behind me, getting closer as I feel warm breath brush my ear. I immediately renew my struggles, yanking on the bindings as I frantically sputter questions at my kidnapper. Who are you? Why would you do this? Please, let me go. I don't understand. The clicking of a tongue makes me fall silent. Tush, tush, tush. One question at a time, please, sweetheart. There's no rush. His voice is teasing, deep and unfamiliar. I decide to play along, although I don't see where it will get me. Where am I? My house. More specifically, the basement. Hands slip the blindfold off my head, but the man behind me makes no move to come into view. At least he wasn't lying. I did appear to be in the basement of some house. Wait. Why was I acting like that's a positive thing? I shake my head, wondering if maybe whatever drug he made me inhale was making my brain fuzzy. I drag my tongue over my chapped lips, prepared to ask more questions. Who are you? A low chuckle reverberates behind me. You don't know me, sweetheart. At least not officially, but that will change soon. I can assure you. Well, that was helpful. I inhale shakily, my voice cracking as I ask my most important question. Why? Tears prick the corners of my eyes, my face twisting in despair. Sweetheart, is that question really necessary? Your family don't give a damn about you or your future, letting you wander around all alone at night, all because your dad wanted a few cheap beers. They didn't love you. You were just the thing that they had to take care of for a few years before they could send you off to some rundown boarding school. I thrash in my chair angrily, trying my best to shift it to see my assailant, but to no surprise it was to no avail. That's not true. You don't know that. They loved me. At least they did before you murdered them, you sick bastard. Is that really what you think? A piece of paper waves lazily in front of my face before being snatched away. I couldn't read much, but it appeared to be a request to send your child to a boarding school, with my parents' signatures on it. Do you see what I mean? And please, watch your language around me. It hurts my feelings. I could practically hear his smirk. I could care less about your so-called feelings. I snap at him. And how does this excuse the fact that you killed my only family? I suddenly hear a shift of movement behind me, and I come face to face with a rather, and I hate to admit it, attractive guy. He wasn't that much older than me. In fact, he probably didn't get out of high school that long ago. I take a breath in, ready to call him a few choice names, but suddenly lips were on mine in a forceful yet passionate kiss. I squeal in shock and try to jerk away, and he nips at my lower lip as he breaks the kiss. Can't be having you tainting that pretty mouth of yours with foul words now, can we? He smirks. As for the answer to your question, I was tired of seeing you so neglected. I couldn't just stand by and watch you wither away now, could I? So, I decided I would love you more than they ever would. Naturally, I had to get rid of them. How else would I be able to give and receive undivided attention? Don't worry though, I killed them quickly. Hid vital organs so it wouldn't take too long for them to die. And it was painless. Well, for the most part anyways. I may have taken some of that beer of your father's and poured it on his wounds while he bled out. It may have stung just a little. I could only listen in disgusted shock as he strolled behind me again and began to cut my bonds. Now then, I can understand that you do not love me right now. I mean, we did just meet, of course. But don't worry, sweetheart. I'll still love you as long as it takes for you to realize what good I've done for you. He gives me a peck on the cheek as he drags me up from my chair, a firm and warning grip on my elbow. You'll behave for me, right? I'd hate to have to do things that I might regret. Or I might not. Who knows? He grins at me like he didn't just possibly threaten me in some way. What do you mean? I ask out of curiosity, immediately cursing myself as his grip on my arm tightens. He draws close, pressing me against the wall as he pins my arms above my head. He leans in, eyes glowing with an emotion I couldn't identify, a small devious smirk playing on his lips. Do you want to find out, sweetheart?